Hello, underachievers. New thing, I got my ears pierced. They are holy. Oh yeah, by the way, sorry I haven't been posting as often recently. I've been ill for like 3 weeks, and I've had a cough recently that just won't go away, and I just can't stop coughing. I'm better now, kind of. But no, I had some videos planned, but I tried filming them, and I just couldn't stop coughing, and I was like, you know what? Just gonna give myself a break. But I'm back now. Let's hope I'm not ill for too long. So today's video is a little bit different. I've never actually talked about incels on my channel. So if you don't know what... I need to sneeze. If you don't know what if you don't know what an incel is, pretty much an incel is just a straight man who hates women because women won't have sex with him. Incel stands for involuntary celibate, which means that they're not trying to not have sex, but they just can't have sex because women they won't have sex with them, which is a bit funny. Like, now pretty much 99% of the time, incels blame women for not wanting to have sex with them. They don't blame their own faults, such as the fact that they hate women. You know, if I was a woman and a guy who wanted to have sex with me hated women, I probably wouldn't have sex with him. Not gonna lie, I wouldn't. But today, we're watching a video where people off the streets... Wait, no, not... That either sounds like homeless people or people that are, like, in gangs. This YouTube channel that I like called Jubilee, they're actually, like, my favorite YouTube channel. Pretty much, Jubilee, they do loads of cool videos. They've got this series called Middle Ground, where They've got this series called Middle Ground where they talk about controversial topics. They get 3 people from one side and 3 people from the other side, and they ask them questions about the topic, and they just kind of talk to each other. They debate. Sometimes it gets heated, but I learn from them. But the video we're reacting to today is called I'm an Incel, Ask Me Anything. As soon as I saw this uploaded, I was like, okay, yeah, okay. So let's get straight into it.
If you could summarize your opinion towards women?
Like what I think of them?
Yes.
I do think they are very important, but...
Okay, right, interesting.
If you're an ugly guy, you better get a good job and make some money, because nobody's gonna want to talk to you.
If you're an ugly guy, you better make money. Look, so I'm not trying to be rude, but at least from what I've seen, in a lot of straight couples, ugly guys who are not rich, they manage to, you know, be with very pretty women. I don't think money is the only factor, and looks definitely is not the only factor. Maybe people don't like you because you are bad. Well said.
And invited our audience and any strangers walking by to come inside and ask them anything.
Okay, hey, I'm Brendiel. I also go by Derek. I'm an incel.
This guy isn't ugly. He's not ugly. He's cute in, like, a way that I'm not attracted to, but I'm sure a lot of people would be. I'm kind of glad that they have them in separate rooms, and although it probably would be how many times am I gonna say probably? It probably would be more interesting to have them, like, in the same room so they can make eye contact, and, you know, it might, I don't know, it'd just be more intimate, but I feel like if he's an aggressive incel, then separation from women is probably good.
So you're an incel?
Yes.
Why would you ever sign up to do this?
I suppose I would want to give more of a positive light on this community, which is a very negative light upon it.
Okay, I get that. I would get that if this, like, if the community of people was, like, you know, like trans people, like lesbians. But incels, they're a community because they feel that women don't want to have sex with them. I don't know. Is there a positive light to that? I mean, a lot of the time they're aggressive, and they, you know, most of them hate women and commit acts of violence against women and other people. Let's hear what he has to say.
Because a lot of the boys in this community aren't bad people.
But you acknowledge that a good handful of them are, right?
Not a good handful, I would say a small handful.
Okay.
Who hurt you, or what happened? What event sort of catalyzed this way of thinking and you getting into this kind of research?
Society.
He's like the Joker. Shut up. I literally just coughed up so much phlegm on my screen. That's disgusting.
Do you hate women?
No.
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 Do you have a female role model in your life?
A female role model?
Yeah, like a mom or an aunt or a friend?
I mean, I love my mom. I wouldn't necessarily consider her a role model, but I do love her quite a bit.
Quite, okay. Sorry. I was talking about this with Evan, who is American. In America, apparently quite means a lot, but in England, quite means like a little bit. So when he says he loves his mum quite a bit, I was like, he loves his mum like a little bit? I'm guessing he means a lot. That confused me. But no female role models. You love your mum. Why is she not a role model? Because she's a woman? Is that it?
If a woman was elected as president of the United States, how would you react?
I don't know. It probably would depend on the woman. I probably wouldn't be supportive of it, honestly, but
I don't understand. He says he doesn't hate women, and then he says it would depend on the woman, but he would probably be unsupportive. So it doesn't depend on the woman at all. If it's any woman, then you'd be unsupportive. That's weird. That's weird, dude. Because someone is a lady, you will not support her being in a position of power. Okay.
Why do you say that, if you don't mind me asking?
I do think that, men should be the leaders and women should be the caregivers and the loving, supporting, and the teachers in some cases.
Obviously, I'm, not the first person to say this, but, women could be just as good leaders as men. I mean, I'm pretty sure that a lot of them would be better, but also men can be great caregivers. I'm sure a lot of them are great caregivers. Most of them are probably great caregivers. He's obviously in this mindset where, women have a certain role and men have a certain role, which should be extinct by now. Obviously, people are entitled to believe what they want, but, people who are stuck in the I'm not supposed to swear anymore. People who are stuck in, the 1600s, they need to catch up, for their own sake and for everybody else's sake.
Since women of color, or just women in general, have been oppressed by certain systems and other oppressed communities, especially LGBTQ+, all those don't really fit with the spectrum that incels or you have been talking about. So why do you think your method of thought would help fix what we have today?
I probably wouldn't view the things that you might view as oppression.
Shut up. Be quiet! You don't think the fact that, some trans people are murdered for being trans, some gay people are murdered for being trays.
Trays?
Some people of color are murdered for being people of color. And I'm sure in some places some women are killed for being women. How can you not say that is oppression? I'm not saying he doesn't think that murder is oppression, but just the way he says it is as if he doesn't believe that those groups are oppressed, which is ridiculous. I think he's probably, guess he feels a bit sorry for himself, doesn't he? I am not surprised that women don't want to sleep with him.
I have a feeling. I would view it more as how we treat children that we love. We control them.
What?
But we control them lovingly, not as a slave, not as we're forcing them to do things against their will.
We control them? What? I think women should be controlled, much like children. Are you having a joke? Bro, my childhood best friend, her mum wouldn't let her get a fringe because she was a child and she was under her control. Are you dumb? Do you think women should not be able to make their own decisions or be in positions of power because they're women? I don't like you. I don't like you. Controlling someone and treating them in a different way or treating them badly because they're a woman or because they're a person of color or because they're gay, that is oppression. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I would view it more as a loving domestic thing in the past. And I would say that if we were to do it in a civilized way, maybe in a more, even a Christian way.
I just do not respect anyone that brings religion into a conversation like this. You can have your religious beliefs. I'm completely fine with that. You can believe what you want about any deity, about any spirituality. But when you try and reflect that onto society and you suggest that people should be living their life in a Christian way or a Muslim way or a Sikh way, it's not acceptable. Why would the entire population want to live under a regime that they don't believe in? Sure, you can have your beliefs, but don't impose them on other people and don't expect people to live by your beliefs. Sorry, I may have moved position. I thought my rat was choking, but he was just scratching his back.
Even though I'm not really advocating for a certain religion or ideology.
What? Why talk?
I would assume that women would probably be happier. And I wouldn't just assume that blindly. I would assume that based on the data that I have seen.
You would assume that women would rather be controlled than have free will. No. Women aren't inherently happy to be controlled. Sure, in a few cultures, women are controlled, and they're fine with that because that's all they know. That doesn't mean that biologically it's ingrained in women that they want to be controlled and that they're happy with that. It just irritates me that people expect that women and men are so different, so drastically different, when really they're really not. We're all part of the same race. The human race. We're all the same species.
What data have you seen that has brought you to this conclusion? Because I'm now curious where I can get this data from.
I couldn't reference it offhand, but I believe there was a study that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
I now am 100% converted to your side.
What do you think it is about liberal areas that create behavior in women that you think is a problem?
Promiscuity leads to increased standards in more primitive aspects such as looks, and that typically makes it harder for some people to find a relationship, including sometimes good-looking people. There's guys who are much better looking than I am.
Maybe I've misinterpreted what he's saying, but he's saying it's a bad thing that people care so much about looks, but then he's also saying that men who are good-looking can't even get a date, which kind of just completely just does not support his point at all. Kind of suggests that, looks aren't important when it comes to this. Which then just goes to prove that, you know, women don't want to sleep with you, not because you're ugly, but because you're a dick.
So you think that promiscuity is the problem, and if people were more monogamous and more withholding, that would sort of fix society?
Yeah, I suppose people were more traditionalist.
Shut up. Traditionalists, die!
There have been a few mass shootings in the past where these shooters actually stated that they were incels or were radicalized by online incels. What do you think about their actions?
I condemn their actions. I don't believe violence is the solution.
What a hero! Wow! This video is kind of just him attempting to rationalize his views, which I don't think he deserves that platform because they're so extreme and so ridiculous. Like, the video is interesting to watch, but I don't like that there's not really anybody saying like, hey, no, like, you're an idiot, because that's what he needs to hear.
I do think that the reason why they committed those actions was probably because out of desperation or out of, you know, mental problems that probably could have been prevented had the right support.
Just gonna put it out there that, you know, they probably wouldn't have shot so many people if they didn't have such easy access to guns.
People, you know, saw what they were posting and saw what they were experiencing in life and did something to help them.
So, I agree that mentally ill people need help, obviously, but I cannot sympathize with somebody for hating women just because they've been rejected. Like, hello, if you work on yourself, you probably won't be rejected as much.
Was there like a pivotal moment in your life, like a straw that broke the metaphorical camel's back?
You know, it's constant years of rejection, no matter who the person was, constant years of rejection in other aspects of my life. It did kind of push me towards more, I suppose, radical beliefs.
See, sorry, I keep interrupting. With this kind of stuff, I don't understand how people are fine with saying they have radical beliefs, because like 99% of the time, having a radical belief like this is not a good thing. Like, being an anti-feminist and hating women, that is bad. That's a radical belief. Being a radical feminist and hating trans women because they're not women enough, that is also bad. There's nothing wrong with being a feminist. Like, within so many communities, any radical belief usually is harmful. And obviously, I guess it depends on what society you're in. Like, it depends. For example, like 100 years ago, believing that black people should have the same rights as white people was a radical belief, which is ridiculous. It's not radical. But back then it was called radical. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just don't. This guy!
One of the common criticisms about the incel community is that you feel entitled to sex or intimacy. Do you believe that you deserve sex or intimacy from a woman?
I think everybody at some level deserves someone that loves them and, you know, respects them, as long as you are also loving and respectful towards that person. You know, they're an equal.
He's clearly just deflecting this question. Like, the guy was asking, do you feel entitled to a woman's love or a woman's sex? He's not saying that you deserve it, because yes, of course, everybody deserves love, but not everybody is entitled to a specific person's love just because they're a woman or just because you like them. I hate that he's in this video being like, I won't answer your question properly, but I'll say this thing that sounds really nice and maybe people will like me. Like, he's clearly just not answering the questions honestly. Does he hate women? Maybe he doesn't hate them, but he doesn't believe they deserve equal rights to men. He doesn't believe that they deserve to be in power. He doesn't believe that, you know, they should have their own free will. He thinks they should be controlled. So, to answer the question, do you hate women? Yeah, I kind of hate women. That would be more honest.
If you can tell the world about something about being incel that, you know, that may not be in the internet or that's overlooked heavily, what would it be?
I don't know. I think it's mostly that most of the men are not inherently bad people. A lot of them are just lonely. They just need some help, really.
I just don't know what kind of help he thinks people should give incels. Like, yes, being lonely is horrible. Women not wanting to have sex with you because you are not respectful of women is not something that, you know, you deserve sympathy for. It's something that you should work on yourself. Obviously, some people have been radicalized, and obviously, a lot of the times, they don't mean to be like that. Like, they don't understand that what's happening to them is radicalization. Obviously, those people should be helped. If he's sat here as a proud incel, but also accepting the fact that incels need help, surely he should know that, you know, his way of thinking isn't right.
Would you say that there's anything that other people can do to help guide or just support or anything?
You know, the lonely person in your class or the lonely person in your workplace, maybe he's an incel and he's not letting you know, and he's just kind of afraid he wants someone positive. Just be nice, say hi, try and make friends with him. You don't have to date him, you don't have to whatever, but like, I understand that. Obviously, everybody deserves people to be nice to them at some point, but also at some point, when you're an incel and people know that you hate women, you don't respect them, you think they should stay in their place,
it's kind of like on you that people don't want to be friends with you and don't want to be nice with you. If you believe 50% of the population don't deserve the same respect you do, then, it's kind of, don't expect respect back.
Brighten up someone lonely's day, I suppose.
I hate that he's equating all lonely people to incels, because I was very lonely for a long time. I wasn't an incel. I know lots of lonely people, and they're not incels, because they don't reflect their hate to the world on other people. What these people need are healthy coping mechanisms, and becoming an incel is not that.
You don't want to be an incel?
No.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it's part of the whole involuntarily thing. I mean, you want to try and escape it. You want to be
The question isn't you don't want to be an incel, it's you don't want to be a virgin. Like, that's how I feel he's taking it. The belief of hating women and, saying that it's women's fault that you're a virgin comes with the label of being an incel.
What's one thing you wish people understood better about you?
I don't know. I guess I wish people would recognize how much effort I'm trying, I suppose. Like, I'm working out typically daily. I've lost over 100 pounds. I'm out there job hunting actively. I don't think people recognize how much effort the incels in general.
Right, so he's putting effort into working out, and congratulations for losing 100 pounds if that's something you wanted. You're looking for jobs, good for you, but also I feel like you should be working on your, terrible ideals and work on, respecting people that aren't you. You can do one good thing, that doesn't excuse all the bad things you've done. Hitler painted good.
People don't recognize their effort, they just assume that they're all, lazy and sad and angry at women and just giving up and things of that nature, I suppose. You don't have to see the bad things in the world and then come out a bad person. You can just see the bad things in the world and then improve upon yourself because of them, I suppose.
Out of everything he said, that is the most hypocritical thing. I'm finished. So, yeah, that's the video. Don't really have much else to say. Obviously, I feel sorry for people that feel as though, they have to... One of the rats just pushed his poo out of the cage. Obviously, there's probably a reason, and there's probably something wrong with these people that they think that becoming an incel is a solution. You can be involuntarily celibate and, not subscribe to hating women. I don't know, it's just some things to think about. Let me know what you think. Tell me down below. But yeah, that was the video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, I don't. See you later, losers. Bit of a punch for you. I don't know why I blew the kiss. I blew the kiss away before it touched you, so I blew a kiss at my rat.